Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you could play a song from the Last of Us soundtrack called The Path, A New Beginning. And this is very, very similar actually to the Path, but a lot of the melodies have actually kind of gone up in octaves, so they're a little bit higher. So you may want to start out with the 4th fret on the D string, and then open B, and then 2nd fret on the B, and then 3rd fret on the B, and then open E, and then another open E, and then we kind of do an open E and then kind of do a hammer on the 2nd fret on the high E string. So you got F sharp, B, C sharp, D, E, 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 F sharp. And then from there, then we're going to go to 2nd fret on the D string for an E note, and 2nd fret on the G string for an A note, C sharp on the B string, 2nd fret, and then open E, and then 3rd fret on the B, and then 2nd fret on the B. So kind of going A, or E, A, C sharp, E, D, C sharp, kind of a round A major chord, just like the Path actually. And then from there, then we go 2nd fret on the D, open G, open B, open E, 3rd fret on the B, open E, and then we do an open to 2nd fret hammer on the high E string one more time. O2, and then we go 2nd fret on the high E, 3rd fret on the B, open B, 4th fret on the D, and then 3rd fret on the B, and then go to 2nd fret on the B string. So that's kind of our melody through that part. It's kind of that F sharp, B, C sharp, D, E, E, F sharp, E, A, C sharp, E, D, C sharp, E, G, B, E, D, E, E, F sharp, D, B, F sharp, D, C sharp. Now the chords that would kind of back that up, and actually what you hear kind of strumming in the background through that part, starts on a B minor chord. And when you play B minor, first finger is going to go across the entire 2nd fret. The 2nd finger goes to the B string on the 3rd fret. 3rd finger goes to the D string on the 4th fret, and the pinky goes to the G string on the 4th fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a B minor chord. That sounds really, really sad. And then from the B minor, we're going to an A major chord, and actually kind of see this shape actually in the licks we were just talking about, where you do 1st finger on the D string, 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G string, 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the B string, 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the A major, we're going to an E minor chord, and we play E minor. 1st finger goes to the A string on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger goes to the D string on the 2nd fret, and if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. And then from the E minor, we're going to be going back to the B minor chord, and then we kind of end around an F sharp minor, which is still a 2nd fret bar, and then you put 3rd finger on the A string, 4th fret, and the pinky on the D string on the 4th fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like F sharp minor. So through that part in the background, you kind of hear that B minor, and I'm doing 8 downs on each chord. And then we got A major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, E minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, E minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, B minor, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, F sharp minor. Now through that part though, a lot of times with a song like this, to make it be more interesting, I'll add in some things called bass notes. And a lot of times, like on the B minor, the B note, or the lowest B note on the guitar, actually is that 2nd fret on the A string. So that note can kind of back up that chord. Actually, if you wanted to kind of make it a bass down, 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 and then on the A major, you could play the A string open for kind of your A chord. And then on the E minor chord, the bass note's going to be on the low E string. So low E bass, down, 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 B minor with an A bass. And then when you get to the F sharp minor, you have the low E string for your bass. So through that whole part, you got B minor with an A bass, B minor with an A bass, A major with an A bass, A major with an A bass, E minor with low E bass, E minor with low E bass, B minor with an A bass, F sharp minor with low E bass. Now what you may also want to do is kind of throw in the bass notes that we're playing, but with the other parts, and this might be easier finger style. I'm going to be using my thumb for the bass notes, and then kind of using my fingers to kind of get the other notes in. So if you started out with 2nd on the A string, and then 4th fret on the D string to kind of kick it off, and then open B, 2nd on the B, 3rd fret on the B, open E, and then open 2 hammer on, then you kind of get the bass note kind of implying the chord. And you might want to throw in some extra basses, actually. We'll talk more about that later on. But then on the A major, you could do the open A when you started off on that second fret on the D string. And you might want to throw in some extra A's. And then we'd have the open E with the second fret on the D string to kind of kick off the E minor leg. And then we'd have the second fret on the A string to kind of back up that 2, 3, 0, 4, 3. And then when you get to that second fret on the B string, you can throw in the low E string on the second. It's kind of like a little piece of the F sharp minor. So you'd have 2 and 4, 0, 2, 3, 0, 2 and open, open 2, open and 2, 2, 2, open, 3, 2, open and 2, 0, 0, 0, 3, open E, open E, open 2. And then 2 and 2's together, 3, 0, 4, 3, 2 and 2 together. And then from there, we end up repeating that part twice. And then we end up going into a transition that starts on the F sharp minor. And then we do another F sharp minor. And then we go to G major. And the way you play G major, first finger is going to go to the A string on the second fret. Second finger goes to the low E string on the third fret. And third finger goes to the high E string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord. And your bass note actually for that chord would be on the low E string. And then from the G, then we end up on the B minor chord at the very, very end of that part. So it's kind of our transition actually into a very, very happy part. We start off F sharp minor, F sharp minor, G, G, B minor, B minor. Now the melody that kind of happens through that part is kind of a sustained part where you'd have second on the B string for your F sharp minor chord, and then we'd have second fret on the G string for the F sharp minor chord, and then we go to open B for the G chord, and then more open B for the G chord, and then we kind of stay on that open B string for the B minor chord change. So what you may want to try and bring out those melody notes too by taking the F sharp minor and kind of trying to strum to the B string on the second fret. And then on the G, you could kind of try and make the B string kind of where you're ending your strumming to kind of bring out that note of melody. And on the B minor chord, actually, this is a little weird, but if you wanted to, you could actually play it as almost like a B5 power chord where you do first on the A string second, third finger on the D string fourth, pinky on the G string fourth. And you could almost kind of make that kind of a B, well, I'm playing B and F sharp and B and B. Actually, it's kind of like a little drone on the B. So trying to shoot for the middle 4 strings on that part. So you could kind of try it as a strum thing that way, or you could work it as a 2-part and kind of have the second fret on the B string with the second fret on the low E string to kind of start. Second fret on the low E with second fret on the G, and then third fret on the low E string with the open B, and then more 3 on the low E with the open B to kind of imply the G chord. And then you could do the second fret on the A string with the open B to kind of imply the B minor chord. Now there's still that strumming in the background though, and if you wanted to kind of put those together, you could almost kind of finger style this. And what I'm kind of digging on for this part is kind of a thumb for the basses, index finger on the G string, middle finger on the B string kind of ride, where you do kind of like all your fingers all together, and then go bass, fingers, bass, fingers, bass, fingers, bass. So it's kind of together, thumb, fingers, bass through that part. And that's just kind of what I'm digging on. So you could take the F sharp minor, and then kind of work that pattern, and then kind of try and ride on just the G string for that second measure where you got kind of just the second fret on the G string. And then on the G chord, you could do the third fret on the low E string with the open B and G together, kind of with that pattern to kind of fill it in. And then with the B minor, you may want to even kind of take that drone idea and then kind of work into the B minor that way. And then from there, that we go into a very, very happy major section. Actually, it's kind of, this is the triumphant moment. This is the new beginning right here, where we start on a D major chord. When you play D major, first finger goes to the G string on the second fret, second finger goes to the high E string on the second fret, and third finger goes to the B string on the third fret. And if you strum just the D, G, B, and E, then that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now in the bass around that chord though, in this section, actually it sounds like there's an F sharp in the bass, and that's something called D/F sharp. And there's a couple ways you can play that. You could do first finger on the low E string second, second finger on the G string second, third finger on the high E string second, the pinky on the B string third, which sounds a D/F sharp. Or you could take the D major shape and then kind of take your thumb and go over to the low E string on the second fret. Or you could even kind of cheat this as actually something called D sus / F sharp, where you do first finger on the low E second, second finger on the G string second, third finger on the B string third, and the pinky on the high string third. Something called D sus / F sharp. Doesn't sound quite like the tune there. So you kind of have that D / F sharp, which helps lead to a G major chord. And then we go to an A major chord. When we play A major, first finger goes to the D on the second fret, second finger goes to the G on the second fret, third finger goes to the B string on the third fret, or it's the second fret. So it's big party on the second fret, D, G, and B. And you kind of strum all those together. That sounds like A major chord. That sounds really, really happy. Rhythm-wise, what's kind of happening through that part is we end up doing kind of 4 downs on the D / F sharp, 4 on the G, and then A kind of gets our 8. So it's almost like we're halving the D and the F, D / F sharp, G change. So we'd have D / F sharp, G, A, D / F sharp, G, A, D / F sharp, G, F sharp, G, A. And at the very end, we kind of just stay on the A major. It's kind of a sustained A major. At the very, very end. And through that part, you could add basses too. You could have the D / F sharp would have the low E string for the bass. On the regular D chord, you do the D string for your bass. And then on the A major, you'd have the A string for your bass. So we tried adding bass to that. You could have D / F sharp with bass down, down, and G, bass down, down, and A with an A bass. D / F sharp, G, A. D / F sharp, G, A. The melody parts through that are just gorgeous, actually, and you could play those notes by going 10 on the B string, and then 11 on the G, and then high E on the 10, and then 12 on the B, and then 10 on the B, and then 11 on the G or D, 9 on the G, 9 on the high E string, and then 10 on the B string, and then we kind of do a 10 to 12 hammer-on pull-off actually on the B string, that 10, 12, 10. And actually, a lot of those notes around the A major, actually, you could almost kind of get all these down, actually, and not have to worry about that. You could take the first finger and kind of do a bar over the G, B, and E on the 9th fret, second finger on the B string 10, and third finger on the D string on the 11th fret. And actually, from the high E string, or from the A string to the high E string, that's another way to play A major, actually. And a lot of those notes, actually, are kind of like a little arpeggio around that. So you may want to kind of play around with kind of working that in that position. 10, 10, 12, 10. And then from there, then we go 10 on the B, and then 12 on the D, 11 on the G, 10 on the high E string, and then 12 to 14, 12 is a hammer-on pull-off, and then G string on the 12. And then we go to the kind of almost that same A idea, but now we got 10 on the B, 11 on the D, 9 on the G, 9 on the high E string, and then 10 on the B string, and another 10 on the B string. Although it almost sounds like you'd go to 12 on the G string. I guess then you could even do both of those together and it would sound really, really cool. Kind of like a piece of an A7 chord. And then from there, then we go 10 on the B, 12 on the D, 11 on the G, 10 on the high E string, and then 12 on the B, and then 12 on the G, and then 10 on the B, 11 on the D, 9 on the G, 9 on the high E string, 10 on the B string, and then 10, 12, 10 is kind of a hammer-on pull-off. And then we got 10 on the B, 11 on the G, and then 12 on the B string, 12 on the G string, and then 10 on the B string, 11 on the D, 9 on the G, 12 on the B, and then we go to 10 on the B, 11 on the D, 9 on the G, 9 on the high E string. It's kind of around the A there. And then you got 10 on the B, 11 on the D, 9 on the G, and then 12, 14, 12 is kind of a hammer-on pull-off on the B string, and then you go high 10, and then we end on 9th fret on the high E string. So through that whole part, you got kind of 10, 11, 10, 12, 10, 11, 9, 9, 10, 10, 12, 10, 10, 12, 11, 10, 12, 14, 12, 4, 12, 10, 11, 9, 9, 10, 10 and 12, 10, 12, 11, 10, 12, 12, 10, 11, 9, 9, And if you wanted to, you could kind of get some bass notes in for those notes too. You could even play the open D string for kind of that 10, 12, let's see, 10, 11, and then you could go to the open G string for the 10, and then 12 on the G, and then the A string for the 10, and then open D with 10, 12, 11, 10, but then you could do the open G for the 12, 14, 12, 12, and then the open A for the 10, 11, 9, 9, 10, 10, 12, and then open D for the 10, 12, 11, 10, 12 on the B with open G, 12 G, and then we got the open A for the 10, 11, 9, 9, 10, 10, 12, 10, and then open D for the 10, 11, and then we have the open G for the 12, 12, and then open A for the 10, 11, 9, 12, 10, 11, 9, 9, 10, 11, 9, 12, 14, 12, 10, 9. Or if you wanted to, actually, there's some other places where you could kind of get to the notes that are actually in the bass. So if you wanted to, you could kind of work the A string on the 9th fret for your F sharp note, for the D slash F sharp, and then on 10th fret on the A string is kind of a G note, to kind of get a little bit lower bass sound. So if you wanted to, and this is kind of cool, I'm going to kind of offset this like the recording, you could have the 9 on the A string, 10 on the B, 9 on the A, 11 on the G, and then go to 10th fret on the A string for the 10 on the high string, and then 10 on the A for the 12 on the B string, and then the open A for kind of that 10, 11, and if you wanted to, you could even throw some extra basses on this A thing, where you'd have the open in 10, 11, and then open A with the 9 on the G, and then 9 on the high string, open A with the 10 on the B string, and then the open A with the 10, 12, 12 hammer on pull off. So you could have kind of 9, 10, 9, 11, 10, 10, 12, open in 10, 11, 9, 9, 10, 10, 12, 10. And then you can almost kind of keep that idea going for the 9 and 10, 12, 9, 11, 10 on the high string, and then you got the 10 on the A string for the 12, 14, 12 hammer on pull off, and then with the 12 on the G, and then open A with the 10, 11, open A with the 9, 9, and what I would like to do is kind of the 10 on the B string with the 9 on the G at the same time. It's kind of an all together thing, and then you can kind of work that 10 and 12. And then you're kind of back to that 9 and 10, 12 on the D, and then 9 and 11, 10 on the high string, and then we got kind of 10 on the A string with the 12 on the G and the B together, and then 10 on the A with the 12 on the G, and then open A with 10 on the B, and then the 11, open A with the 9, 9, open A with the 10, and then the open A with the 10, 12, 10, and then we're back to that 9, 10, 9, 11, 10 on the A string with the 12s together, 10 and 12 together, open A with the 10, 11, open A with 9, 12, open A, 10, 11, 9, 9, open A, and then 10, 11, 9, 12, 14, 9, 10 with open A, and then kind of the A all together. And then from there, then there's a return back to kind of our intro idea, where we kind of have that 2 and 4, 0, 2, 3, 0, 2 and open, 0, 2, open and 2, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, open A, and then the open E and 2, 0, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 2, and then the 2, 3, 0, 4, 3, 2 and 2 together. Now if you wanted to, if you kind of dig in on the extra basses, actually you could kind of get that, throw in some extra basses for the chords through that part too. So open A, so kind of filling in some of the downbeats there. So you want to kind of think about playing around with that. And then from there, then the section from the path, actually, the D minor section actually comes back. But we can kind of keep that octave shift kind of going. So you can start on 2nd fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B, open E, 1st fret on the high E, 3 on the high E, 3 on the high E, 3 and 5 is a slide on the high E string. So I'm kind of playing 3 and slide, keeping enough pressure to get the sound to slide. And then you go 3rd on, or open G, 1st fret on the B, open E, 3 on the high E, first fret on the high E, open E, and then we'd have third on the G, third on the B, and then high E on the third, and then sixth on the B, and I'm doing that for a particular reason now, and then we go 3 on the high string, and then 3 to 5 on the high E string as a slide, and then we go 5 on the high E, 6 on the B, 7 on the G, and slide that to second fret on the G, and then first fret on the high E, and then open E. Now the chords that would kind of back up that lick though would start on D minor. And the way you play D minor, first finger goes to the high E on the first fret, second finger on the G on the second fret, and third finger on the B string on the third fret. And if you kind of strum just the D, G, B, and E, actually kind of the skinny 4 strings, that sounds a D minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. And then from the D minor, we're going to go into a C major chord. When you play C major, first finger goes to the B string on the first fret, second finger goes to the D string on the second fret, third finger goes to the A string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the C major, we go to a G minor chord. When you play G minor, first finger goes to the third fret bar, third finger goes to the A string on the 5th fret, and the pinky goes to the D string on the 5th fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. And then from the G minor, we go to a D minor chord, and then we go to an A minor chord. When we play A minor, first finger goes to the B string on the first fret, second finger on the D string on the second fret, and third finger on the G string on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. So if you wanted to, you could keep that strumming idea going. We have D minor, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, D minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, C, C, G minor, G minor, D minor, A minor. Now the basses that we kind of back those up on the D minor chord, you'd have the D string for your bass. And then we get to the C, you'd have the A string for your bass. C with an A bass, G minor with low E bass, G minor with low E bass, D minor with a D bass, A minor with an A bass. Or you can kind of put those together. So you could do the open D with the second on the G. 3, 0, 1, 3, 3, 3, 5. And then the third on the A to back up the open G. 1, 0, 3, 1, open E. And on the G, you'd have the third on the low E string for the 3 on the G. And then 3, 3, 6, 3, 3, 5 slide. And then the open D for the 5, 6, 7, 2, 1, open A for the open E. So you may want to kind of think about kind of putting those together that way. Or throwing in extra basses could be a cool thing too. Or little arpeggios of the chord could even be cool too. You know, kind of backing it up that way. Or you could put in extra basses too. That might be kind of... almost simulates that strumming kind of happening in the background. So kind of throwing some extra basses on that too. So we want to kind of think about that as an option. And then at the very end, we kind of have that D minor intro come back where we got the open D with the 2, 3, 0, 1, 3 on the high E, 3, 5 slide on the high E string. And you could do that kind of with that D in the bass if you wanted to kind of back that up. So that might be kind of an option there too. But that's the basics of how you could strum through and kind of figure out doing solo arranging actually for The Path, A New Beginning from The Last of Us soundtrack by Gustavo. So good luck!